when you're in love with someone, you're going to organize your schedule and make them a priority.
People get what they accept. People get what they tolerate in themselves and in each other.
What do you do when you're growing and the person that it might be the most important person in your life isn't growing with you? It's a huge problem.
Want to be happy? Build a life, not just a business.
Living that believing life. Out here living that believing life. Every day we living that believing life. Hustle like we living that believing life. Living life, yeah, so we grinding it out. Every single day we be grinding it out. Hustle like we living that believing life, oh. That believing life, oh.
Hey, it's Carmichael, and this channel was created to help you overcome the #1 challenge that is holding you back, a lack of belief in yourself. You watch these videos because you know there's something more inside you too. You've got Michael Jordan level talent at something. So today, let's live your best belief life and learn 7 ways to improve your relationship. Enjoy. Okay, let's kick it off with way number 1. Pick the right person to be with Tom Bilyeu.
I want to start with one of the things that you have always said is like the base and foundation to relationships. Selection matters. So that's where I want to start. Talk to me about selection matters, what you mean by that.
So this is, I feel so bad because for a long time it didn't dawn on me how important it was. And I just thought that I was like king shit at relationships. And then I really started to think about the way that you are in the relationship and how would I be able to apply the things that I'm learning from reading books and all of that stuff about how to make a relationship work if you weren't so adept at, one, just being good at communicating, 2, you're so good at letting things go and realizing how much grace you were giving me in the relationship to make mistakes, to try things that didn't necessarily work, or to just be plain young and stupid. I don't remember when it hit me, but I remember how it felt when I was like, wait a second. If I didn't have that, then all of the knowledge and tools and tactics wouldn't go anywhere. If you didn't have a growth mindset as well, then this would really be sort of dead in the water. And it really made me start to reflect on how much of this is actually that I have tools and tactics and how much of this is that I just really chose wisely. And really began to realize you need both for sure. You need the tools, you need the tactics, you need communication, the hard work that you were talking about in the intro. All of that's real, but you really need to pick somebody that has certain sort of objective universal characteristics like either already a growth mindset or a willingness to pursue it. I mean, we got together so young. I know neither of us had a growth mindset, but we understood very early on that you either grow together or you grow apart. So we put equal energy into improving. And then there are things that are specific to you. There are certain things you're gonna like, not like. The fact that we're not both, just sort of alphas banging our heads together, that we found a nice yin-yang balance like you were talking about.
Way number 2, prioritize the relationship with Jordan Peterson.
How to make a relationship work. Like, it's not just magic. You need to kind of put in the work to make it work.
It's hard.
You need to put in effort and compromise a lot of times on, like, if you live by yourself, you can do everything the way you would want.
Yeah.
If you live with someone else, then there's compromises to make.
Yes.
But in the long picture, it's better for you.
Well, that's it. There's sacrifices to be made in the short term.
Yeah.
And I mean, people have to, the effort issue is like, well, when you're in love with someone, you're going to organize your schedule and make them a priority. And, that's in some ways a fleeting state, although it's not necessarily as fleeting as people think it is, but whatever. It's obviously a priority. And then you get married and, you kind of get accustomed to having each other around, and then everything else is more important and the relationship drifts to the bottom. And then people get dissatisfied and they start looking for excitement and adventure otherwise. Well, you can't do that. You have to prioritize the relationship. Like, my observation clinically has been for a couple to maintain their relationship without it deteriorating, they have to spend 90 minutes a week together talking about their lives, about how the house is run, about what they've all been doing to keep their stories caught up, right?
That's not really even that much.
No, it's not. It's not. It's not that much.
Yeah.
And which is a good thing. You can actually do it. And then they need to spend at least one time having a date. And 2 is better. 1 is necessary, 2 is better. You can't aim for a lot more than that because, you know, life is very busy. And if it's going to be sustainable, it has to be realistic. But they need to make time for each other twice a week and talk in a non-romantic way, just practically about the domestic economy and about everything that's going on. And that keeps people tied to each other and updated. And so that's sort of your minimal commitment level if you don't want things to deteriorate.
Way number 3, understand and appreciate each other with Tony and Sage Robbins.
People get what they accept. People get what they tolerate in themselves and in each other. And most people in a relationship are thinking about what they're going to tolerate in the other person. But in our relationship, I think the beauty and the passion and all the juice that I've gotten experience in our relationship with my girl is because I hold myself to a higher standard than she could ever expect of me. And I think when your standard and focus is about yourself instead of about your partner, about how do I show up more, what am I here to give? In the beginning of a relationship, people's whole focus is how do I light them up? I want to do anything that lights them up. And it makes you feel incredible to light your partner up. And you know, a relationship is aging, not based on years, but based on when you can be with somebody a week, but if you start thinking about, well, what are they doing for me? And I'm doing it all, and you start measuring what you're giving instead of just giving from your heart and your soul, things drop off. So maybe this week is a chance for you to really create some relationship breakthroughs. And we think that takes 3 things, any kind of breakthrough. Sometimes it's having the right strategy. Because frankly, you know, as a guy, we say and do things that girls interpret very differently. They come up with very different meanings, and vice versa. You know, for men, for example, problems are not things you talk about. Problems are things you solve right now, or you make them small and move on. For ladies, sharing that problem, digging in, feeling it, not solving it, understanding it.
Understanding, gentlemen, is such a key piece. We are such different species. And I think having an understanding of each other and each other's needs and knowing that we are not the same. You know, our own reality of how we think and feel and process life isn't the same for your partner. So having that, not just understanding, but truthfully appreciation for how they view and experience the world is a game changer. There's so many things in our relationship and it's like, oh my goodness, you know what? It's not me, because sometimes you take things personally. It's just knowing that that's how they process reality and process life.
When they say that, it's not men are for Mars, women are for Venus. John Gray's a friend of mine. That's a wonderful approach, but all men have a feminine side and a masculine side. All women have a feminine side and a masculine side. It's really just understanding how this species, they're different species, interpret the world. And if you don't understand the strategy of how to interpret that, you'll be upset or angry or frustrated. So perhaps this week, and you know, you'll be able to dig in and get some new understandings that'll take some of the weight off and make you laugh at stuff that you used to get upset about.
Way number 4, get to know other people's goal with Brendan Burchard.
Everybody wants better relationships because you and I both know when your relationship sucks, your life sucks. But a ton of people have terrible relationships and they don't know why. And they're constantly fighting and they're always in the argument mode. They're always like thinking the other person isn't sufficient, isn't delivering for them, isn't happy for them, isn't supportive enough. And so you have all these people who have like good people in their lives, but their relationships suck. And sometimes the relationship sucks with their family or their friends, or it can be their significant other. And it's just like, it makes you want to tear your hair out. So let me give you 4 ideas that can actually help you improve your relationships, nurturing deeper, better relationships with anybody, right? Friends, family, or your significant other, your partner, your lover. So the first idea is you never know a person if you don't know their goals. And if you don't know their goals, you're never going to be a great friend. You'll never be their great lover, their great supporter, their great family member. And it's weird though, because most people actually don't know other people's goals. I'll ask family members to say, what's your sister's goals? And you know, she wants to be a dancer. Okay, what kind of dancer? When? What does she want to do with that career? Is it short term, is it long term? Like, you have to really get into people's goals to understand their heart. And so that's what I want you to do is if you want to be a great spouse to somebody, you got to re-engage and say, hey, what do you want at this stage of your life? Because I know what you used to want, then we had kids, but where are you at now? You got to get in that conversation with your partner and say, hey, listen, I know we've been through a couple of weird months where we just haven't really felt each other out. It's like, let's just do some personal development. You're like, what do you really want to do right now at this stage of your life? Because you have to understand, when I say this stage of your life, that's very specific. Meaning a lot of people's goals change. And it changes like every 3 months, every year, every 3 years. So if you haven't had the conversation with the important people in your life recently about what your goals are and about what their goals are, then I'm telling you, you're just skimming at the surface. Because if you don't support other people's dreams, how can you ever have a deep relationship with them? And if you don't share your dreams and your heart and your desire with other people, how can they possibly help you meet that hunger? How can they possibly help you become the best version of you if you haven't shared it? So you also have to be very honest with what's your real thoughts, what's your real feelings, what's your real dreams, what do you really want at this stage of your life with all the important people around you. It's one of my favorite things to do with high performers to say, okay, do all the people around you know what you really want right now? Are they clear on what your goals are? Are they clear about how they can support that or how much you want them to be involved in it? It's like a lot of people start their own business, but they don't tell the other people around them what that business is, what it requires, how they love their support. And so we all go it alone. And isn't going it alone the opposite of having healthy, supportive relationships? So first thing you gotta do, if you want better relationships, get to know other people's goals.
All right, my friend Evan Carmichael's book. Listen, humans are built to serve. Some people are built to serve the world, others want to serve the 25 people closest to them. But in either case, humans are built to serve. So if you're not happy right now, it's because you're not serving enough. You got to pick up this book because it's so inspiring to remind you that we're all here to contribute, to make a difference, to make an impact, and this is your field guide for that.
Way number 5, open up with your partner with Mel Robbins.
You're in a relationship and you've spent the last couple months really working on yourself, right? You've been going to the gym, you've been reading all these incredible books, you got a gratitude journal. Maybe you're even about to launch your own business. And so you're growing and you're happy, and yet there's a major problem. And the problem is that the person that you're in love with, they're not interested in personal development at all. What do you do? What do you do when you're growing and the person that it might be the most important person in your life isn't growing with you? It's a huge problem, a huge problem. And I want to break it apart for you because this is not something that is going to get fixed overnight. And it's something that you can have a direct impact on. And it's also something that can become very serious. So I want you to pay attention. First of all, you got to understand, you cannot change somebody else. You can bitch at them, you can threaten them, you can guilt them, but at the end of the day, it is up to the person that you're with to decide whether or not he or she is going to change. That said, you can do things that influence whether or not they want to. And so the most important thing with personal development, now remember, what's the key word in personal development? It's personal, is you continue to do you. You continue to read the books. You continue to hang out with the people that inspire you. You continue to push your life forward. You continue to go to the gym. And the thing that you're going to do is you're going to share a lot with your partner. You're going to share about what you're learning. You're going to share about who you're hanging out with. You're going to share about all these cool distinctions and tools that you're learning. You're going to share about the things that scare you. You're going to open up in a way that impacts your relationship. The thing you're not going to do is you're not going to tell them they have to do it too. Because the second that you tell somebody to do something, they're going to say no. You may invite them, hey, I'm going to go hang out with so-and-so. You want to come? You can ask them if they'd be interested in reading things. You can ask them questions, but what you don't want to do is you don't want to tell them what to do because it's going to totally backfire.
Way number 6, don't look for fairy tales with Marissa Peer.
You see, fairy tales cause a lot of problems because they again overexpose us to something that is not real. We have this incorrect, actually harmful belief that you will meet your other half and they'll complete you. But you're not a half, you're a whole. And when you're a whole, you're not looking for someone to complete you, you're looking for someone to grow a relationship with. And here's the biggest problem of all, this belief that your other half will meet all your needs. Well, I'm here to tell you that simply is not true. Imagine you have needs, we all have needs. Your partner can probably meet a third of your needs very well. And another third, you need to meet them yourself. And the third, well, you might have to let them go. Imagine your need is to have a perfect home with white sofas and a white carpet and everything tied away. And you've got 3 kids who like to play football. Often you have to look at your need and think, well, you know, that need just isn't going to work. I need peace and calm, but I've got 2 babies under the age of 18 months old. Sometimes we just have completely realistic needs. And you have to ask yourself a question: what is more important, my need or my relationship? I need a tidy house. I love tidy. I love everything put away. It makes me feel great. I have a husband who doesn't even notice he's left all the cupboard doors open, all the kitchen cabinets open. He loves to cook. He's immensely messy. And I realized that his need is to enjoy cooking without me saying, oh, look, you got that on the floor. Why have you made so much mess? How come one tea bag has managed to stay in every surface? So I just had to give up my need to have a really tidy house and to recognize that having a happy marriage with a husband who loves cooking is actually a great gift. And in my relationship, I have to bring it back to, you know, what is more important here? Me and him are my need for order and tidiness, and he has other needs, and I know that I don't meet some of his needs. He loves to go out every night. He's super social. I actually love to chill by sitting on the sofa and watching a movie, and I love watching things like Downton Abbey and Jane Austen, which just leave him cold. And he loves watching documentaries about the history of the world and all kinds of science stuff that I don't love either, but we work it out because I understand the third. He meets some of my needs fantastically well. I'm lucky to have him. I meet some of his needs amazingly well. He's very lucky to have me, but we both understand, okay, I have to give this need up. And we both understand that other needs I need to meet. So if I had a need to have a husband go to the gym with me, go shopping with me, that's not him. In my 33 years as a therapist, I have no doubt at all that my clients who are the unhappiest are the ones who are looking for perfect. I've got a list. I want someone who is perfect. I always smile and go, okay, let's imagine you found this perfect person. What you want, what do they want? If they are perfect, don't you think they also want perfect? I recently had a rock star's ex-wife in my office, and that had all gone wrong. She had a lot of money. She said, I need another rock star, but I want one 20 years younger than me. And I went, why? She said, well, I want to be with a rock star. I said, but where do you think that's going to go? You're 20 years older than him. Don't you think you're just delaying the inevitable of having a second marriage go wrong? Don't pick someone 20 to 25 years younger than you. Pick someone that you have shared interests with. Because when you look for perfect, first of all, it doesn't exist. You will never find Mr. or Mrs. Perfect. They don't exist. And in trying to find them, you'll be dissatisfied, you'll be sad, you'll be disappointed. You know what you'll also be? Lonely. All of my clients trying to be perfect and find perfect are lonely and dissatisfied, and it's so unnecessary. All you have to do is understand, hey, I'm a flawed person. I can accept I have flaws, and I'm with people who are flawed. And if I was perfect, I'd be lonely, and my flaws make me real. They make me genuine. They make me authentic. And that's a wonderful thing. I always remember one of my clients saying, when I saw my wife, she was walking down the street and her thighs were rubbing together. It was the sexiest thing I'd ever seen in my life. I'm like, wow, I wish every woman fighting for a thigh gap could have heard him say that was the sexiest thing. Another of my clients said, my wife was working out. She had sweat running down her back and all around her groin. It was so erotic. I was so attracted to this girl covered in sweat with wet hair. Who would have thought that? No makeup, working out, sweating, damp hair, red face. And yet to him, that was sexy. So please don't try to be perfect. There is no fairy tale. There's real life, and real life is amazing. You know, the best thing when you know that someone loves you for you, when you're throwing up because you're sick, when you've got a cold and your eyes are red and your hair is matted, and they bring you coffee or tea and tell you they love you, then you know that's the fairy tale. Oh, you love me just the way I am, and I love you. And you'll be having a bad day, and I love you just as much, maybe even more, because your vulnerability makes me want to care for you. And I've worked with many, many models who feel, gosh, you know, I never want to disappoint someone. That isn't really me. Ava Gardner said, every man I meet thinks I'm Gilda. Sharon Stone said, every man thinks I'm Catherine from Basic Instinct. That isn't me. They are always disappointed. So many supermodels and movie stars tell me people are disappointed with me because they think I'm this role. It's not me. But imagine if you don't have to be perfect. You can be you and you're loved. Guess what you don't get? Disappointment. Guess what you don't worry about? You're disappointed in me. When you can be real, no one is disappointed in you, and that includes you. So remember, the key to a great relationship is how well the conversation goes back and forth, how good you are recognizing each other's needs and meeting as many as you can. The key to a great relationship is, do you respect and admire each other? Do you have sexual chemistry and best friend chemistry? Nothing in there says, hey, are you perfect for your partner? Because they don't even want that. I've worked with models who are left and their partner said, oh, it was like dating a racehorse. It was just so much work. And now my next partner is just real and warm and genuine, and I didn't even want all that drama. So remember, if your relationship now is not working, don't think, well, I better stay in it because I'm looking for the fairy tale. You can always make your relationship better or leave something that really doesn't work and find a better relationship when you stop looking for something that isn't real and become the real, lovable you. You can find someone that loves you because you're you, and you love them because they're them, and then you build this beautiful, flawed relationship together, loving in each other, believing in each other, supporting each other, not having to worry about your thighs or your height or the number on your birth certificate, the number on the scale, the number in your clothing label, the number in your bank account. Those don't matter. What matters is being a real person, finding real love based on being real, and then it will last forever because it's real.
And way number 7, the last one before a very special bonus clip, is be the source of happiness with Sadhguru.
When people say that they are in love, they think they are in unconditional love. But still, in most of the cases, it's not working. It doesn't lead to happiness. So Sadhguru, when is unconditional love truly possible?
See, when you say love, your experience of love means you feel certain sweetness of emotion within yourself. Either by looking at this person or this person or this person, we don't know who stimulates this in you. It doesn't matter who helped you, but essentially it happened within you, isn't it? Yes? Did it happen only within you or was it in the air? I'm trying to clear this air.
Combination of both.
Really? It was in the air? No, it only happened within you. Maybe what was happening within you was so exuberant, you saw it everywhere. You're in love, you thought the flowers bloomed for you, the birds are singing for you, the clouds are moving for you. Huh? All right, I don't want to destroy all the romance, okay? But essentially it's happening within you. It's wonderful that you're experiencing such sweetness of emotion, stimulated by somebody. You are using the other person as a key to open up an experience within you, essentially. I'm asking you, why are you using a key when there is no lock, when there is no door, when there's no any kind of barrier? It is just that you are a push-start machine. You know what's a push-start machine? If you have owned an Ambassador 25 years ago, always you parked it on a gradient like this, because morning, two people have to push it. If you park it like this, nobody will come, your family will not come out of the house. If it's like this, somebody will come and push it. Now all the cars are self-start, many of them remote start. What does it mean? Technological upgradation. You are an institute of technology, all right? I'm asking, would you like to upgrade your technology that you are on self-start. If you wake up in the morning, you are overflowing with joy and love and exuberance by yourself. You don't need anybody to stimulate you. Would you like to be a self-start machine? Then you must come to me, huh? Whoever is right now doing the love in the air, it's fine with them, you don't have to tell them anything, you say, all right, it's okay. But it's very important you're a self-start machine, otherwise, after some time, you try to extract happiness from the other person. That is when these love affairs become tedious and horrible, because you're trying to extract happiness from the other person. No, life should be like this. When it comes to joy, when it comes to love, when it comes to exuberance of life, you must be the source of this, isn't it? You must be the source of this. Well, other things are shared in life. There are two ways to enter into a relationship. One way is because you want to extract something from somebody. Another way is because you want to share something with somebody. These are two ways. If you're out to share, your life will be good. If you're out to extract, when they close the tap, it's going to get terrible and nasty. You have seen people who thought they're absolute lovers, how terrible it becomes for many of them. Not because there's anything wrong with them, simply because you started off on the wrong footing, thinking, this person is the source of my joy. No, no, no. Joy or misery, the source is within you. Yes or no? Whether it's joy or misery, the source is within you. It's for you to decide. If you're a joyful human being, they will also want to be with you. If you're a misery, they will endure you for some time.
Now I've got a really special bonus clip that I think you're gonna enjoy, but before that, it's time for the question of the day. I wanna know, what was your single biggest takeaway from this video? And write down in the comments below when you're going to take action on that takeaway this week. When you schedule in what day, what time, and what place you're gonna take action, you have a 91% chance of actually following through, compared to just 35% if you just got motivated but never created a plan. And when you share your plan and have accountability, you give yourself an even higher chance of following through. So in the comments below, write down your single biggest takeaway as well as your specific plan of action, because I want to celebrate with you.
Do you have any relationship advice for entrepreneurs?
Where's Nina? Yeah, so yes. For me, I don't need to talk about stuff. So when I'm dealing with something, I'm an introvert, so I need to go inside and figure it out. Talking about my problems, unless there's a solution, like if I think you can help me, I'm gonna talk to you. But if it's something I don't think you can help with, me just telling you about it does nothing for me. Nina always wants to know what's happening in my life and in my day. I don't have a need to tell her. But I have to tell her for our relationship. And so involving the people in your family into your business doesn't mean they have to be involved heavily. Like Nina now quit her job to join me on this thing that we're doing together. Otherwise, she's not super involved in what I'm doing day to day. She had her own job. But involving her to know what I'm going through, or what process and pain, so that when I'm sitting here like struggling and just like trying to think of something, I'm not in my own world. She kind of gets what's going on. So if I have a YouTube issue and I tell her about it, it's like, do you want to go home and like go fix it? Like, it's okay. We'll stay and do our thing together. But at least she knows enough about what's happening in my life, so it's not being completely shut out. So that was one that made a huge difference. Just being able to communicate what's going on.
If you want to change your life in 30 days for free, check the link right below me. And if you want 6 more ways to improve your relationship, click the video right here next to me. I think you'll enjoy it. Continue to believe. I'll see you there.